What's going on, guys? It's QBZ here, and with the release and the further information that's been deluged about the Osiris DLC, I wanted to explain to you guys why it is actually possible for our previous exotics to come back. I might not like it. I don't know if you like it either. I would like to see some new stuff. I did not like seeing that Graviton forfeit, but I wanted to go into a lore reason for why this is possible. As we saw in the Osiris DLC trailer that was released by Bungie, it looks super cool. We saw the Telesto, we saw the Jade Rapid, which was one of my favorite guns after I got it on PlayStation, and we also saw the Graviton forfeit. Now there was a couple speculation as well that we saw the Thorn and probably the Touch of Malice in some of the screenshots as well. I would not like to see either one of those come back, but it's an actual thing that people are speculating on besides the other three that were mentioned before. So that also means that we can expect other exotics to come through as well, and while that's kind of infuriating, we would definitely like to see something new, but I really wouldn't expect them to show us something too new besides hopefully we can get that scout rifle that Osiris had that kind of looked like a Mida on steroids. So this is how the guns can actually fit in. The game hints at traveling through time. I believe in the Xbox description that was on the store that it mentioned like going from the past into the future and to another alternate timeline in which Osiris traveled to prevent the dark future. There were screenshots that shows the potential dark future that we're trying to avoid, and Osiris could actually visit it and compare it to the lighthouse of today, which is all nice and pristine and probably doesn't look that way after the Cabal attack, but for the most part we're using that as our baseline. Now the problem is like we also see in this trailer that we see there are some frozen guardians where Osiris is fighting off, and it looks like they are in the Vault of Glass or a Vault of Glass like structure on Mercury, and because of that some of these exotics could honestly be some of their old weapons. The other thing is, because technically we might be traveling to different timelines, those other timelines could have the same exotics, but here's the catch: those exotics could technically have different perks because they're from a different timeline. Now I don't know if I would want the guns from a different timeline, because though that timeline is pretty much dead, so they must have some trash perks on there if they couldn't save themselves. But essentially the exotics exist in a different timeline. We'll go to that timeline because the Vex time travel, we're going to fight precursors, we're going to fight descendants, we're going to fight the Vex, we're going to get the whole myriad of Vex like we got in the Undying Mind strike, which was pretty dope. We're going to see the past, future, and present, and because we're going to be interacting with all of those timelines, we're more than likely that's how we're going to get some of our weapons. I would imagine that the Infinite Forest is going to have some loot. It's going to be like some kind of distortion where it's some loot from the past and then some loot from the future. That's essentially how I see it going. Besides bringing back new exotics, it allows for the creation of exotics from varying timelines. I also forgot that some people did see the No Time to Explain as well, but because we can shift timelines, we can actually get some newer, cooler variations of some of the things that we had before. I really hope that Bungie does not decide to phone it in and just change up a couple of perks because they're already active in the skill tree, such as Graviton Forfeit, allowing for a free selection of Shade Step, but you know, technically every hunter has Shade Step now, the dodgy thing, and hopefully it's not just the invis either, and wastes players' time. But that's how I wanted to go over, guys, to let you know the lore implications for how some of these older exotics can come back. I actually appreciate that, at least in this thinking with the Osiris DLC, having the, not necessarily the excuse, but the plot device of time travel and getting exotics from a different timeline. It feels a lot better than them lazily, I'm gonna say lazily because they told us all our stuff was gone, but then we got like so many crappy exotics from D1. I really appreciate that there's going to be a plot device that allows us to have a genuine reason for why we're going to get some older exotics along with some new ones, because they're from a different timeline with different perks. Hopefully it's a lot better of the excuse than they use for the inclusion of like Mida with high caliber rounds that was nerfed because everybody thought it was OP, but for some reason they decided to bring back high caliber rounds. So that's it, guys. Let me know what you think down below. It was pretty interesting when I started to think about it, but that's the only reason I can come up with the best reason for why. See you later, guys. Peace.